breakfast. What are you talking about?
So you're telling me if they had PB&Js at a hotel, it wouldn't be for breakfast?
I would eat it, but I've never had it for breakfast.
You've never had PB&J for breakfast?
I've never had PB&J for breakfast.
What do you have it for? Dinner?
No, lunch. I just fucking said that. Just lunch. What are you looking at me like that for?
You must have had a shitty childhood.
I didn't. Oh, you know what's something else? Wait.
Speaking of shitty childhood.
I didn't agree to that. Fucking having hot dogs, like chopped up hot dogs and like mac and cheese. Never had that. Did you have that?
Yeah.
Never had it. I don't think it's real. It doesn't sound good.
Do you want to do that after this?
We don't have neither of those ingredients.
We'll go buy them.
I don't want to. Well, maybe. I don't know. It sounds like, no. I don't know.
All right. Well, we've been recording.
Oh, we are! Fuck.
And in 3, 2... Hey guys, welcome back to Nerd Locker Podcast, your entertainment podcast for everything movies, television, video games, and more. My name is Adam.
And I'm Oliver.
And as you can see, we've taken a long time off because we both look very different than last week.
A little bit, yeah.
And by that, we've only taken a week off. But
it's only a week.
Our normal time. So we are going to be doing 2 episodes for you guys today that's going to be released this week. The first one is going to tackle episode 3 of
Secret Invasion.
Ooh,
it was intense.
It was really intense.
Real intense episode.
So
leaving off of the last episode, we noticed that Nick Fury is married.
Yeah,
apparently.
Which there was a lot of rumors where people were thinking, like, does he even know? Because she changed before he got in, but he definitely knows that she's a Skrull. And we get more backstory of how she saw him when he blipped and came back from it. So she mourned for him in those 5 years, and then when he got back and left again, she didn't exactly mourn. She kind of, it seems,
he's like,
doing something behind the scenes.
It's sketch.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So I'm not entirely sure like where they're going with that, but we will get to her because at the end was the big reveal.
Jesus, what was that?
I don't know.
Fly? Maybe.
Air? Pollen?
Air?
Filter feed. Water.
Dude, I wish we could filter feed. All right, anyway.
So we have Gravik going further into his plan and finally confirming there are Super Skrulls that they're trying to make.
Right.
So we have these Super Skrulls that should have certain abilities that we do get to see Gravik has.
He has the
Extremis.
One from Extremis, from Iron Man 3.
So maybe even all of them.
Oh, true.
He might not just have one. He might have multiple. And we get the scene from the trailer where Talos talks with him, and Talos grabs him, and all of them turn into Gravik, which just shows how many Skrulls there are that are on Gravik's
That was
side.
actually a really cool scene.
It really was. And he taunts him about his daughter a bunch. They put a lot of emphasis around the daughter for a reason in this episode. And we don't really know what's going on with that. That could always be because obviously, guys, spoilers, but Gaia at the end of this episode gets killed by Gravik. He shoots her point blank dead. And at first I thought maybe she had also taken some of the Extremis or some kind of maybe ability that makes her get up.
We saw her dead, and then like it pans off, so we don't really technically.
I was expecting her to like shoot up and frame or something like that,
she
but
could still show up.
I don't know. They kind of gave it a little more finality.
Can
with that.
technically Gravik be the daughter, like turn into her, just to trick Talos, like in a future plotline?
I mean, he probably will. I don't think we've seen the last of Amelia Clark, but we might have seen the last of Amelia Clark.
Right.
So we'll end up seeing what happens and what exactly can be done. And then we have a lot of Fury in some of the best scenes that I've seen Samuel L. Jackson do in Marvel. We got full-on Marvel Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Talos and Fury, where he just went off the deep end. They definitely showed us more about their friendship and how much Talos respects and loves Fury, and that he's on his side, and that's the reason he's not on Gravik, is the fact that he sides with Fury, and he knows Fury wouldn't side with Gravik. So that just shows us that loyalty, because he was kind of getting compared to a dog.
Right.
And he didn't appreciate that, because he said that the reason that Nick Fury even ascended the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D. was through spy intel, which honestly was kind of revealing. That was kind of cool to know that everything that Fury has done has been because of Skrulls. And
I don't know what that was.
Are you a Skrull?
Yo, if I turned into one right now, what would you do?
I'd probably freak out a little bit. It would explain It would explain the new hairdo and everything.
Oh, that'd be. Oh,
You'd be a shitty Skrull because you really missed the mark.
I'm in training still. Okay.
You still got some time.
The body's in the closet.
It's hard to mimic that beard. And so we have more of an explanation between their relationship, which I think is super cool and gives a lot more depth to both of those characters. It makes me feel like Talos is going to die at the end of this.
Probably. It's probably his like ending call is what the show is essentially.
Yeah. So this definitely seems like Swan Song-esque. And the big reveal at the end was Nick Fury's wife gets a call from what seems like, and here, like the way I heard it and what it sounds like is
It
Rhodey.
does sound like Rhodey.
So James Rhodes, who I said would probably be a Skrull,
That's probably it.
is a Skrull, I'm pretty sure.
Probably it.
We're going to get confirmation that Rhodey's been a Skrull. For how long is the big question. Because
he doesn't have like superpowers. He's just in a suit, right?
It doesn't matter about superpowers because Skrulls didn't have them until now.
Exactly.
But it's more the fact of when he fell in Civil War out of the sky.
Right. I remember
those
that.
Injuries.
That was the misfire from Vision, right?
Yeah. Those injuries would have reverted him back. It would, because dead or not, it's injuries that revert you back. So when he slammed to the ground, Tony would have figured out he was a Skrull in that moment. Unless it was a cutaway scene and we didn't know, and Tony knew that he was a Skrull at that point and never told anybody else.
I don't think so.
Or Rhodey did
you
die
can't confirm that.
during that time. Maybe he did get killed in that, like when he fell and died in the hospital, and they replaced him in that moment. And the Rhodey we've had ever since then has been a Skrull.
It's kind of cool though.
So,
I honestly, Loki, I kind of hope he's a Skrull.
I do. I don't. I mean, like if they say that he was a Skrull the whole time, then I just need to know.
That'll snip his part off in this series. So, or
Kind
like
of.
in MCU, I guess.
But the thing is he's supposed to be the main focal point of the Ironheart, or one of the focal points in Ironheart, and then also Armor Wars, which is now going to become a movie that has him as Don Cheadle as the title actor.
Oh.
So if we get this Skrull revelation, it's either got to be a couple of things. Number one, he's been a Skrull the whole time, and maybe just, but then he also said that I've known about Skrulls for 15 years, right? Mm-hmm. So that puts it around the time of right when he was becoming Iron Patriot.
Okay.
So if you give it by Iron Man 3 time, around then was when he found out Skrulls existed.
Right around Extremis.
Right around Extremis. So you go into this realm of if he knew then, maybe that's when he was replaced as a Skrull. Maybe it wasn't he was aware of them. That's when he was replaced. And he could be hooked up like everyone else, like the real Rhodey could be hooked up. And maybe that's how they continue to Armor Wars with this, awoken Rhodey. Or he's just a Skrull the whole time. And they just keep continuing on with it.
I'm kind of mad that this episode is actually kind of short.
Yeah. After we were complaining like, oh my God, hour-long episodes. Now it's like 44 minutes.
I kind of want more.
Yeah, it left off on a big cliffhanger. With this in mind, so we now know there's just so many Skrulls that could place so many people. And Fury already said it's someone in the U.S. government. There's a Skrull there. Like, that's what they're trying to figure out. Like, who is it on that side that we need to find out? I do think it's Rhodey. I think Rhodey is going to end up being revealed to be not only a bad Skrull, but I think he's going to end up being the one that they've been working for, like Gravik's been working for. I don't believe... in that shot, when they were showing them all hooked up, there was that shadow cast that they didn't show who was watching them from above, but there was someone clearly watching them, but they didn't want to show us the face for a reason. And it wasn't Gravik, because they already showed us Gravik's face before that in a hologram.
Right.
So why disguise
have
him
that Yeah.
Unless you don't want anyone to know who that is.
You think of someone bigger? A bigger boss?
I do think it's a bigger boss. I'm going to put not all my chips, but half my chips on Rhodey. I'm going to put half my chips on another cameo that we're just not expecting. Like another character that we just did not see as being a Skrull the whole time kind of stuff. I don't know who, but it really could be a number of people.
So there was 2 things I wanted to bring up. And there's, first off, the interrogation scene with Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Bob. Fucking so much Pulp Fiction vibes.
So much.
Let me
as
just
soon as he shoots him in the leg, yeah.
I was like, all right, we're here now.
He's like, do you want me to aim higher or should I aim lower?
Dude, it was so good. It was so well done. And then
when they're in the car and he was like, you just had to have the whole we made this moment.
We're here.
Yeah.
That was really well done. And in both of those scenes, is it Talos?
Yeah.
Talos, as soon as his daughter is mentioned,
goes off the deep end.
He goes off.
So when he finds out his daughter's dead.
In the meeting, he stabbed Gravik's hand, and then he killed Bob. So, like, what is his reaction going to be when he realizes that she's dead now?
I think he's going to kill Gravik. I think...
Dude, he's going to fuck up Gravik.
What I'm thinking is this. I think that he will probably end up fighting Gravik. Either they're both going to die or Talos is going to die. And that'll be when we get the reveal of the bigger bad.
I'm going to say that Gravik kills Talos, and then Fury revenges him.
And kills
Gravik
on instinct.
Yeah.
But then finding out because it's not the big bad.
Because he retired. So and what did he say at the that morning to his wife? He's like, I don't like golf, but I like revenge.
Oh yeah.
So I have a feeling maybe we're leaning towards him just fucking up Gravik after Talos is dead.
Probably. And I think it'll probably happen either next episode or the episode after, and then it'll be a big reveal. 6. So
6.
We're halfway through.
Holy shit. And then what's after this?
The Marvels.
And that's is that next month?
November?
Mm-hmm. You have to wait so long.
At least I think.
I thought it was earlier than
real
that.
Quick, while we look this up, we have a quick message from our sponsor, and we will see you in just a second. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist in their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off at your first month at betterhelp.com/nerdlocker, and that's BETTERHELP.com/nerdlocker. And we've also linked them down below in the description. Hey guys, and we are back.
Oh.
So we looked it up, and it seems like the next thing coming out is going to be Loki on October 6th. So we still got a while. And after that, we'll have the Marvels, which is on November 10th.
Is that a movie or a TV show?
Movie.
Okay.
And then we will have Echo, which will be a TV show
Echo.
on November 29th. And then after that, Ironheart will probably be next year. So we have 4 more Marvel properties this year. We have Loki, Marvels, and Echo.
That's crazy. Okay, and then at the end of probably that year, at the same time, we have a lot of games releasing too.
Yeah. So
a lot going on. All right.
It's going to be crazy.
We'll figure it out.
We'll definitely review Spider-Man 2 when it comes out.
Oh my god.
So segue real quick, now that it's brought that up, small little thing. I was walking through Barnes & Noble yesterday, and I found a graphic novel, which was like a manga, and it was based on Spider-Man characters. And
it was a manga for Spider-Man?
Kind of.
Okay.
It wasn't like it existed before. This is something new that someone made.
Okay.
Like they obviously just adapted it to look more like manga. But it was a Spider-Man story that I read the beginning of it, and the author, I forget his name, was inspired by the first Spider-Man movie and always said like, ooh, I want to do something just like that in that kind of world, something different. And in this story, it deals with Peter Parker is like fighting. I briefed through this, I like skimmed through it, but he was fighting. I think it's like a Mysterio, a different version of Mysterio because obviously different world.
Yeah.
And as he's fighting him or whatever, they get to like this big kerfuffle, and Spider-Man basically goes missing. Like no one knows what happened to him. He's like gone. And another kid, like not a Miles Morales, but just another kid, ends up like fighting some people in an alleyway and like saving them, and finds Spider-Man's suit tossed away on the ground. So he's like, what? It's kind of like when he threw his suit away in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
So he finds his suit, puts it on, thinking like, oh, this is a really cool fan-made suit. Like, that's awesome. And finds out it's one of Peter's suits. He doesn't know who Peter Parker is yet or anything like that. He just knows, oh my God, this is Spider-Man's suit. But it has the webbing. It has different kind of technology in this suit because this is a later Spider-Man that like had stuff. So he can go out there and be Spider-Man essentially. Because the suit helps him with just like cleaning the walls and stuff like that. Like it gives him extra
so he
things.
Doesn't have the actual like spider bite.
Yeah, the suit itself gives him the powers. So he goes on to save the city for a long time and blah blah blah. Eventually meets up with Silk, who in the comics, the actual comics, Silk is the other, her name is Cindy Moon, and when Peter got bit by the spider, he didn't kill it, because like in the original comics, like 1960s comics, he didn't kill it, it just bit him and like came off. Yeah. What we didn't see was it went off to another person and bit one other person. And it bit a girl named Cindy Moon in the same class as Peter that he never really talked too much. But only thing is she ended up getting captured because she showed real like web slinging and stuff,
right,
unlike him that so she exhibited all that, got captured, and was kept in prison basically for years on end until he finally found out who she was. Like there was a big thing.
This is all in
reveal.
The comic?
This was in the comic. So in this manga, they bring that character in, Silk, and she's already been working with Spider-Man, and she works with this new kid saying like, you're not Spider-Man, like you're not who I am used to. And he's like, no, I'm just trying to do good. I'm trying to be that that hole that people are missing kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
And they keep going on. They start fighting together. Finally, she gets like attacked, and he finds her. Like this is towards the end of the book, and he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She's like, "Him. Like you can't let him find you." And he's like, "Who are you talking about?" As he does this, you hear the cops behind him going, "Get it, kill it, get it down, get it down." He looks out. It's fucking Venom, attacking everybody. What? He goes down, starts fighting Venom, beating him up, blah blah blah. Then finally, he's like, "Wait a minute," and the monster, like this thing, keeps like withering in pain. He's like, why are you doing that if you're trying to hurt everyone? And he's like, are you in pain? What's wrong with you? All of a sudden, Venom's mouth starts to deteriorate, and you see Peter Parker behind him.
Oh, cool.
And you find out that Mysterio injected Parker with the Venom serum and made him Venom. That's why he went missing.
Oh.
So he has to end up fighting him, and then like when he's gets him in like this confinement or whatever, and he's like trying to claw at him or whatever, he's like, you need to remember who you are, you need to remember, and like hands him the mask and gives it to him. And then he ends up like remembering who he is because he couldn't remember. And as soon as Peter does that, he ends up taking control of the Venom symbiote, and it transforms into a black version of his old costume. And they both end up fighting the Sinister Six that got together from Mysterio, beat them all up, and finally defeated all. And at the end of it, he lets him keep the costume, says you could be Spider-Man if you ever want to be. But he was like, I'll just keep it, and like I'm just gonna do my own thing. I want to like be a kid. He's like, well, if you ever want to, you can. And then him and Silk go on, and like, but that's
crazy. That's
Venom
actually
Spider-Man with Silk. It was a really good storyline. From what I like breezed through, I was like, this is awesome. Apparently, it's number 1 out of a few volumes, but it was called Fake Red.
Fake Red?
Yep, Spider-Man Fake Red.
Okay, cool.
Definitely something that I would want to see in the future.
Can we pull up like the cover on the?
I'll put the cover up right over here. And it was super good. Definitely a great read. I might end up purchasing this. It sounds
pretty dope, honestly. Yeah. That sounds so video game-esque.
It does, and that's what I'm like hoping like Spider-Man 2 might get into and delve into, because I think he's going to end up becoming Venom at some point. Mm-hmm. Like that costume is going to take over to a Venom thing, so I think they're going to go in similar directions. But it was just, and I mean a lot of the suit in the manga is kind of based around the video game one. Like it kind of looks like that, just more technological.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but I don't know. Just bringing this up for my last point is Marvel is definitely hitting a fatigue. I think that we're not going to see the MCU past 2030. Like, I don't think so.
2030 is a lot of time.
You say this, but if we look at it from this angle, Phase 6 should be the end of the multiverse saga, right? And we're in Phase 5. Right. Phase 6 is supposed to end with the Avengers Secret Wars, which is slated to come out in 2020. Is it 6 or 7? 2027. May 1st, 2027. So that will be the end of Phase 6.
Okay.
So actually, let's go past 2030. They would probably, in theory, try to do one more saga. Like, end it out. Instead of just 3 phases per saga, 3 sagas with 3 phases. Like 9 full phases. It took them from 20... So they ended in 2027. They started Phase 4 in 2020. Technically 2021, if you think about it. If No Way Home is their indication, that was the original plan. But let's just say WandaVision started Phase 4, which I believe it did. So 2020 to 2027, that's 7 years. It took them 10 years to do the first one. Let's say it takes them another... If they're getting better at it, let's say they wrap it up in like 5 years.
Yeah.
2032, around then. If I was Marvel and I am still even remotely as successful by that point that I am with this, I'd go out on a high note and do a Phase 10, kill it all there. Like no Phase 11, 12, just Phase 10 that leads up to like the biggest fucking movie you can do, because they get to Secret Wars. I don't know how you go bigger than that unless you start introducing Galactus and go into like cosmic level. Like, I mean, Eternals versus Galactus, like versus all the big ass things out there.
Eternals sucks, by the way.
It does, but they could make it better.
Yeah.
Like in Wonder Woman 2.
Do you think
I can make it better? Your life is good, but it could be better.
Do you think that like after this like superhero phase, what's going to be the next thing?
I don't know, because it was a long time between Westerns phasing out and superheroes coming in. Mm-hmm. But you look at things like Indiana Jones, that kind of gave you that cross section.
Yo, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, but you have like that cross section of Western to superhero with those movies. Same with Star Wars. You have those superhero aspects. You have your protagonist that you're going for, but you also have that Western like conflict that you have between people, and that's where superheroes also have. Like, they do have that Western conflict. They're just glossed over with a different skin that we don't see it as.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what's going to replace it. It's going to be something. Space movies try to do it. It wasn't as good. It was always humans versus aliens.
Independence Day yesterday. Still pretty good.
Not the second one.
Oh, I didn't see the second one. No, fuck that movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your overall thoughts on Secret Invasion?
On the latest episode, I'm gonna honestly, it was super intense with that whole nuclear thing.
Didn't know if it was gonna go off or not, because they didn't save the fucking first one.
You're right.
It was like, how many of these things you guys gonna fail, buds?
I might do like an 8. I like Samuel. I like Samuel's acting. I like the conflict in it. Yeah,
but if I'm gonna go by strictly Pulp Fiction stuff, I'm gonna say 8.5, because it's been 30 years since I've been able to see something like that.
Dude, he did a really good job this episode.
Like, motherfucker away from being Pulp Fiction.
I didn't like Gravik's acting a little bit in it. I felt like he could have done a little bit better.
He's very confident. He's too sure of himself.
It's kind of annoying almost.
I think that's why he's working for somebody.
Yo, also Talos' voice is so nice sounding.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd listen to Talos reading me a bedtime story.
It's so good. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I give it
I would say 8.5, but I understand what you mean with Gravik. I think that's why it shows that he's working for someone, because he is too confident. Like, he's willing to die.
He's just like,
yeah, like, if you kill me, you'll kill me. Yeah, like, letting Fury stab him, because obviously he didn't even let him grab him before.
Can we also point out that like he got first he stood up right during that meeting, and then everyone transformed into Gravik, right? And then he stabs him and those people do nothing?
Because I don't think they were meant to do anything. I think it was more to scare Fury.
It's just intimidation.
Yeah, it was like, hey, as soon as he touched me the first time, show him our numbers. So no matter what he does next,
right, okay,
he's either accepted death or he wants to die, and we don't want to let him die.
But dude, as soon as you say Gaia, this motherfucker's going off.
Yeah. This is going to be bad. This is going to be crazy. Yep.
That was nuts. But yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
All right.
The episode overall.
Well, where can they find you, Oliver?
You can find me on all social medias being the Sphere 21, except for TikTok. I'm Oliver Khan VA.
And you can find me at Amore Photography. You can find the studio at Archangel Studios Official. And you can find this podcast at Nerd Locker Podcast, wherever that you get them. Wherever that you get them.
Wherever you get them? Wherever you find them? Listen. Wherever you listen to. No, that's not right. What is it?
Dude, where'd your beard go?
Oh, fuck.